Welcome back to the deep dive. We're here to bring you that profound knowledge, those aha moments that can genuinely shift how you see things.
Hoping you find those deeper connections.
Exactly. And today, this is deep dive number 16 in our special series, Wisdom Unveiled. We're continuing our journey with the amazing 12th century Persian poet and mystic Fariduddin Attar Nishapuri.
His insights still resonate so powerfully today, don't they? Helping us unlock things about ourselves, about the world.
They really do. Now, our source material, as always in the series, comes from those rich philosophical and mystical conversations.
Right, featuring the renowned Iranian philosophers Dr. Ibrahim Dinani and Dr. Ismail Mansouri Larijani from their program Marifat.
And we need to include our usual disclaimer here.
Yes, absolutely. Just for you, our listener, this is a translation of conversations with Iranian philosophers. Some concepts or details may not be fully conveyed. We do apologize for any discrepancies.
Okay, so our mission today, we're going to unpack Attar's unique take on some huge themes.
Huge is right. We're looking at love and unity, the nature of time, which is always fascinating, this idea of constant creation.
And the seeker's journey, the power of a liberated intellect, and even surprisingly, wisdom from the earth itself. It sounds like quite a scope.
It really is.
Yeah.
A dive into truths that feel, well, universal and very relevant.
All right, let's start with love and unity. You mentioned a story from Attar's Muzibatnama, the Book of Trials.
Yes, and in this context, trials aren't just hardships. They're more like profound inner challenges, part of a spiritual journey to refine the self.
Okay. And this story involves Majnun and Layla, the famous lovers.
That's right. So a king hears about Majnun's incredible devotion, invites him to court, and then he parades these stunningly beautiful women in front of Majnun. And the king says something like, look, one of these is worth 1,000 Laylas. Just look.
Trying to tempt him, basically.
Exactly. But with Majnun's response, this is where it gets really deep.
Yeah.
He refuses to even glance at them.
He doesn't look at all.
Not even a glance. He says, this is profound. The love of Layla stands in my soul. If I look at anything else, the blood of my soul will be spilled.
Wow, the blood of my soul will be spilled. That's intense. What's Attar getting at there? Is it just extreme loyalty or something more?
It's much, much more than just loyalty or affection.
Right.
Attar reads this as a statement about being. Majnun isn't just saying, I love Layla. He's saying, I am Layla.
He is Layla.
Their beings have become one. Layla is me, and I am Layla. It's moved beyond that idea of, one soul and two bodies. It's more like whatever exists is Layla for him.
Okay, I think I'm starting to see. So it's not about having love, like it's some object you possess.
Exactly. If it were property, you could lose it, give it away. But Majnun is this love.
Yeah.
He is Layla. He can't give it up because it's his essence, his very being.
That's a fundamental shift. True love isn't something you acquire. It's a state you become. It defines you. It's indestructible in that sense.
Precisely. And this deep unity connects to what Attar calls the unity of existence. Wadat Shaksi Wujud. He argues that other kinds of unity, like general categories or concepts, they're just abstract ideas in our minds.
Right.
But real existence, true reality, is always specific, always personal. He literally says, a thing that is not specified does not exist.
Can you give an example of that?
Sure. Think about it.
Yeah.
You don't interact with food in general. You eat this specific apple or that particular sandwich. Existence is always concrete, personal, specified.
Got it. So Majnun's love wasn't some abstract ideal. It was intensely personal, focused on Layla as a specific reality embodying, well, everything for him.
Yes, which is why even if he did look at other beautiful women, Attar suggests he would only see Layla reflected in them. It's unity within the multiplicity.
Which leads to that core Attar principle. See one, say one, know one, seek one. Anything else is, in a sense, seeing multiplicity where there's underlying unity.
And this ties into Attar's really interesting redefinition of gairat. It's often translated as zeal or jealousy, sometimes with negative connotations, like fanaticism.
Right, I've heard it used that way.
But Attar goes back to the root. Gairat comes from ger, which means other. So for Attar, true gairat means not seeing the other, setting aside everything but the beloved.
Ah, okay. So it's not about being possessive or blind.
Not at all. It's about seeing the beloved reflected through everything else, like seeing the one light shining through countless mirrors. The essence is cognition, understanding, but permeated entirely by love.
So love and intellect aren't enemies here.
Absolutely not for Attar. Intellect might start with, calculations and distinctions, but at its highest point, it realizes love-ish is the ultimate path. Love isn't blind or irrational. It works with a wise intellect.
So in the true lover, everything comes together. Senses, imagination, intellect.
Exactly. They're all unified, focused. It overcomes what Attar calls Habas part distracted attention, being lost in the scatter of multiplicity. Love brings focus, brings unity within the self.
Okay, so love unifies the self, collapses the lover-beloved distinction. What about our perception of reality itself? You mentioned Attar tackles time, Saman, and space, Makan.
He does, and he sees them as incredibly mysterious phenomena.
Hmm.
We just take them for granted, but they're profoundly deep.
Yeah, I mean, where does time even come from?
Right. Or think about space. Is the world in space, or is space somehow in the world? Same for time. Attar suggests time is within the world, but not like a box. And the present moment, it's so elusive.
How so?
Well, the past is gone, right? The future isn't here yet. And now, the instant you try to grasp it, label it now, it's already slipped into the past. You can't actually hold on to it.
That's true. It just keeps flowing. So what's the present moment then for Attar?
He suggests the present moment is to time what unity, the number one wahid, is to number itself.
Okay. Unpack that a bit.
Well, all numbers are just repetitions or combinations of one. Similarly, time is like an infinite unfolding of these present moments, stretching back and forward, with no discoverable beginning or end. It implies there's something deeper going on than just seconds ticking away.
A hidden dimension to time,
Yep.
an inner reality.
Exactly. Attar points towards deeper realities, like Dar, which is like an eternity of continuous presence, and Sarmad, everlasting divine time. These exist beyond our normal space-time perception.
And God is seen as the batin, the inner reality of time itself.
That's the understanding, yes. Which connects to that Sufi concept of being Ibn al-Waqt, the child of the moment. Meaning being totally present, completely engaged and thoughtful in each single breath. It's about connecting to that inner, deeper reality of time. It kind of echoes the Prophet Muhammad saying about having times with God that are beyond ordinary experience, a direct taste of that, Sarmad.
Okay, but what about our everyday experience? We see seasons repeat, holidays come around each year. It feels repetitive, doesn't it?
It feels that way to us. But Attar challenges this. He argues time never truly repeats. Every single moment is absolutely unique.
Unique. How?
He calls each moment a dastavard, a new achievement, or an afuran shetaza, a fresh creation. It's not just a rerun of the last moment.
So it's not like dominoes falling in a line.
Not just that. Each moment arises fresh from what he calls the fountain of the unseen, cheshme-i gaib. It's constantly being created anew.
Wow. So reality is being refreshed, recreated every single instant.
Yes. This constant renewal is linked to the Nafas al-Rahman, the breath of the All-Merciful. Divine inspirations are flowing into existence, infusing each moment, keeping time alive and fresh.
Is that why saints are sometimes called Kidir, the evergreen one?
There's one interpretation, yes.
Right.
Because they're always alive, vibrant, receptive to these fresh divine breaths. Never stagnant.
So the feeling of repetition, of boredom, same old, Attar would say that's on us, a sign of our own limitation or stagnation.
Pretty much. It's a human perspective, not a characteristic of divine creation. There's that saying attributed to Imam Ali, whoever has 2 equal days is a loser. It emphasizes that each moment should feel new, alive, full of potential if we're truly present to it.
Okay, that's a high bar. How do we actually live like that? How do we tap into that constant newness?
Attar's answer seems to be through thought and contemplation.
Yeah.
Genuine thinking, he suggests, is always fresh. Each real insight, each connection you make in your mind is a new creation. It's inherently non-repetitive.
Keep the mind active, keep thinking, keep contemplating.
And that brings us to the journey itself, the suluk. Attar focuses on the salike and disha, the seeker of thought. It's an active path.
Not just passively waiting for enlightenment, you have to seek intentionally.
Absolutely. It requires conscious effort. And the first big obstacle this seeker encounters is what Attar vividly calls the Lashkar Kayal.
The army of imagination.
Yes. And he stresses its incredible speed and power. He says nothing moves faster. If it's not managed, it just floods us.
With what?
Illusions, fantasies, anxieties, desires. It can warp how we see reality, make things seem bigger or smaller or different than they are. It can totally block our progress towards clarity, towards truth.
Yeah, I think everyone can relate to that. That feeling of thoughts just running wild, taking over. So how do we handle this army? How does the seeker get past it?
Well, Attar implies it takes discipline, awareness,
Yeah.
focusing the mind. If the seeker manages to navigate through or quiet down that army, they then encounter something else. The liberated intellect, Ekli Azad.
Liberated intellect. That sounds powerful, but isn't there a paradox there? You mentioned the word akal itself comes from equal.
Exactly. The rope used to tie a camel's leg. The word itself suggests binding, limitation.
So how can intellect be liberated?
For Attar, true intellect, especially when it's aligned with hikmat, or wisdom, is inherently free. Or at least, its nature is to be free.
Free from what, though? What binds the intellect usually?
Oh, lots of things. Material desires, chasing status or ambition, narrow prejudices, the ego, getting stuck in limited information or rigid dogma. Attar sees the liberated intellect as free from all that. It's about freeing the mind to perceive clearly, without these filters.
Okay. And what can this liberated intellect do? Attar gives it some significant roles, right?
He certainly does. He calls it the master of my binding and unbinding, meaning it guides our choices, our commitments, what we attach ourselves to and detach from.
So it directs our will.
In a way, yes. It's also the critic or discriminator, the faculty that sifts truth from falsehood, reality from illusion.
Makes sense?
And maybe most expansively, he says its reach is vast. Your boundary extends to the limit of non-existence.
Wow. Meaning its potential for knowing is limitless.
Pretty much. Like light, it can illuminate everything that is, potentially, and it can even conceive of what is not, the absence of being. In terms of scope, there's no inherent boundary to what it can explore or understand.
That's an incredible capacity. It directs us, discerns truth, explores everything. Yet, you mentioned Attar still finds a limit, or a distinction it encounters.
Yes, even for this powerful, liberated intellect, Attar brings up the distinction between Khan and Wa.
Yeah.
You could loosely translate that as essence and appearance, or maybe being and function.
Okay, Khan and Wa, what's the difference?
The idea is our intellect is brilliant at understanding the Wa of things, how they work, their properties, their functions, how they appear to us.
Like how a clock works, we can figure that out.
Exactly. We can understand its mechanism, its Wa, but the Khan, the deep, intrinsic essence of time itself, what time is at its absolute core, that remains elusive to the intellect alone.
Or like music, we can analyze the notes, the structure, the wah.
Right. We can analyze its structure, the sound waves, the instruments. But the Khan, the absolute essence of what makes it beautiful, why it moves us so deeply, that's harder, maybe impossible, for the intellect to fully grasp and define.
So intellect is amazing for the how, but struggles with the ultimate what, the intrinsic being of things.
That seems to be the idea. It's a kind of humbling limit, perhaps pointing towards needing other ways of knowing, like that direct experience of love we talked about earlier.
That makes sense. It's humbling, yeah. But then Attar does something really interesting, right? After all this high-flying thought about intellect and time, he brings us back down to earth.
He really does.
Yeah.
Quite
Yeah.
literally. It's a remarkable turn in the Musabatnama. He suggests looking downwards to the earth itself for some of the most profound wisdom. The seeker actually enters into a dialogue with the earth.
Wow. And how does the earth present itself?
It's paradoxical. The earth describes itself as, passive matter, just dirt. Yet it holds all these secrets of nature. It brings forth life. It contains immense wisdom within itself.
And it complains a bit, doesn't it?
It does. It laments how humans overlook it, disrespect it, pollute it, bury their dead within it, without truly understanding its nature. It feels incredibly relevant today, that warning.
Absolutely prescient. A centuries-old environmental message, almost. But despite this mistreatment, the earth keeps giving.
It keeps giving, yielding food, nurturing life, this incredible generosity. Attar seems to imply that many of our problems stem from this fundamental disrespect, this disconnect from the earth's reality.
And the earth issues a challenge to the seeker.
Yes. It basically says, how can you find life if your heart is dead? Become alive within me, embody my qualities so you can find a result, find true life.
Become alive within the earth. So what are those qualities? What virtues does the earth teach us?
Attar highlights three main ones, through the earth's voice. First is helm.
Helm, what's that?
It means deep forbearance, profound patience, maybe steadfastness. But it's not passive resignation, it's active. Like the earth enduring the harshness of winter, holding steady, knowing deep down that spring will come. It's a patient strength.
Active patience. I like that. What's the second quality?
Second is kushki. It's a bit harder to translate directly, but it's something like a beautiful good nature, inherent goodness, maybe integrity. It manifests as generosity of the earth, giving its fruits freely without calculation.
Okay, forbearance and goodness. And the third, you said it was key.
The third is tamal. This is crucial. It means profound, deliberate consideration. Foresight, carefully weighing long-term consequences. It's about proactive, wise deliberation, not just reacting on impulse.
So thinking things through deeply, taking time to consider before acting.
Exactly. Think about the Earth again. In winter, it might look dormant, but internally, it's gathering resources, preparing for spring. That slow, deep, patient, forward-looking process, that's tamal in action.
And Attar suggests this tamal, this deep consideration, leads somewhere important.
Yes, he suggests it naturally leads to ethidal inner balance, moderation, equilibrium, finding that middle path.
And balance leads to?
To taishimul, true beauty and grace, but not just superficial attractiveness.
Right.
It's a deep inner harmony and integrity that radiates outward. It's the beauty that comes from being balanced and well-considered.
That connection between deep thought, balance, and true beauty, that's fascinating. Is there an example of tamal in action?
Well, the story often cited is about Imam Ali during the Battle of the Trench. It's a classic illustration.
Remind us what happened.
Imam Ali, known for his virtue and prowess, is in single combat. He finally gets the upper hand, he's about to strike the final blow, and his opponent spits in his face.
Oh, what does Ali do?
The immediate human reaction would be rage, right? To strike even harder out of anger and insult. But Ali pauses. He visibly steps back, takes a moment, collects himself. That pause is the tamal. Then he finishes the fight.
Why the pause? Did he explain it?
Yes. Later he explained that if he had struck immediately after being spat upon in that flash of anger, the act would have been tainted. It would have been partly for his own ego, his personal fury, not purely for justice or for God.
Wow. That level of self-awareness and control in the heat of battle.
Incredible discipline, isn't it? That pause, that deliberate act of tamal, ensured the action came from a place of pure intention, of integrity. And the result was touchable grace under pressure, acting from the right place. It really makes you think about our own reactions, doesn't it? That split second before we lash out.
Absolutely, that moment of choice. So these threads, the liberated intellect, the wisdom from the earth, the practice of tamal leading to balance and grace, they all seem to point inward, ultimately.
They do. It reminds me of the mystic Rabia al-Dawiya. She was said to be so immersed in the Creator that she saw everything else through that lens. People would urge her to come outside and see the beauty of spring, but she'd say she saw the inner spring, the source of beauty itself, within her.
So like Attar suggests, we have outer eyes for the world, but also inner faculties.
Exactly. Our physical senses perceive the outer world. But things like time, space, concepts, unity, we grasp those with our inner faculties, our intellect, our heart. And Attar, like many mystics, says the highest reality, the divine throne, isn't just out there somewhere infinitely distant. It's also found within.
The heart, the believer, is the throne of the most merciful.
That's the saying. It points inward. Which brings us back to self-awareness, to what Attar calls the Kaaba of the soul.
Our inner sanctuary.
Yes, the core of our being, our self-awareness. Because knowledge without self-awareness is kind of empty, isn't it? There's that famous hadith, whoever knows himself knows his Lord. The path starts with knowing the self.
And the very act of thinking, you said earlier, is inherently active, born from this inner light.
Yes, thinking isn't passive. It's a movement, connecting ideas, moving from known to unknown, exploring possibilities. And this movement originates from that inner core, that self-aware presence, that inner light.
So the more we can quiet that army of imagination, that mental noise,
the brighter that inner light, that capacity for true thought and contemplation can shine. Like tending an inner garden, like Sanai's garden of truth, allowing the truth within to flourish.
Okay, so pulling this all together, what's the ultimate takeaway for you, our listener, from this deep dive into Attar?
Well, I think a key message is that truth isn't something you just passively find or receive. Attar calls us to be active seekers, right? To get on the path, to engage in that intentional journey of thought and self-discovery.
And Rumi's words come to mind here, don't they?
Oh, powerfully. Oh, brother, you are but thought. The rest is bone and sinew. If your thought is a rose, you are a rose garden. If it is a thorn, you are kindling for the furnace. It really emphasizes how much our inner state, our thoughts, shape our reality, even our very being. Being a thinker, cultivating those thoughts is crucial.
So here's a thought to leave you with as you go about your week. Consider this. What small, consistent inner practice of tamal, that profound, deliberate consideration could you explore? Maybe starting today.
It could be really tiny, couldn't it? Like just taking one conscious breath before you reply when you feel triggered by something, or even just a split-second pause to think about consequences before reacting strongly.
How might that tiny pause, that little bit of inner discipline, lead to more outer grace, more tajamul in how you interact with people, with situations?
And maybe reflect on those earth virtues, too.
Hmm.
How can embracing that deep patience, that helm, and that wise deliberation, Tamal, a bit more inner balance, more real beauty into your life, not just inside you, but in how you engage with everything and everyone around you?
Because maybe, as Attar seems to suggest, the deepest wisdom isn't always hidden in the most complex ideas or grand revelations.
Sometimes, maybe often, it's right here, right under our feet in the Earth's example, or right within us in our own capacity for conscious, deliberate thought and inner presence.
Until our next deep dive, keep seeking, keep pondering, and keep unveiling wisdom.